Hi, I'm Lori, and this is my daughter Leah, as you all know. Today we're going to talk about being your authentic self and what that really means. It's so important to be authentic because that means you're being loyal to yourself. It took me a long time to really get that completely, and I did pay a heavy price for that. It was almost a friend of mine, Randy, I'll give him credit for this. About a few months ago I had a dream, and in this dream there was a bear and my dog, and the bear was about to take its paw and swipe my dog and kill it. And I told him about this dream, and he said, "Oh, that has to do with being loyal to yourself. The dog represents loyalty, and the bear is your unconscious mind saying, stop being so loyal." And when I first heard that, I thought, well, that makes sense, but now I know that I have paid a really heavy price for being loyal
to other people.
And
as
not
opposed to yourself.
To myself. That's right. A really heavy price. And it comes down to, when you're loyal to yourself, it's all about self-love. And it's taken me a long climb to get there, but I think I'm finally I've gotten the message loud and clear, and I think I'll talk really quickly about what happened to me because I wasn't loyal to myself. And when you're not loyal to yourself, it just comes around back to you, and other people, they show their lack of loyalty to you. What actually happened to me was 2 years ago. I had actually gotten a lot of people out of my life. They were disrespectful to me. They were not supportive. They were abusive. A lot of in-laws and some family members. And when you take your power back and you say, look, I'm not going to be in a relationship that is disrespectful, well, they end up being more disrespectful. And a lot of people can turn on you. And that's exactly what happened to me. So me being a sensitive person and a bit of a people pleaser and wanting people to like me and oh, I'm so nice and I don't want to hurt people. Well, I did take some of my power back, and I did cut some people out of my life. So then I got a lot of the other people really being vicious towards me. And I internalized it, and I ended up making myself very ill. I ended up being in the hospital for 6 weeks. It was so much for me that my body had manifested an energetic illness, and it wanted to have a massive spiritual purging. And I almost died in the hospital. And I went through hell and back, and even to this day I still have some remaining physical aches and pains from what I experienced. And that was a really heavy lesson for me. It was a big wake-up call to not put other people's opinions over my own, to learn self-love, to learn self-acceptance, and to be loyal to myself. I finally got it, and I'm saying, look, I'm going to be loyal to me and only me. And if you're not loyal to me, I'm going to give you your walking papers. And that's what I've given to a lot of people. They are gone. And you have to earn loyalty. It's just not something, it doesn't matter if it's a family member, a mom, a dad, a brother, a mother-in-law, it doesn't matter. That loyalty needs to be earned.
I think a lot of people think that, oh, well, they're family. I can just take their abuse. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's not okay. I think that there's something that you can learn in every relationship. For example, if you are attracting a lot of people who are, say, rejecting you or criticizing you, well, it could partially be because there's a part of you that hasn't fully accepted yourself, or there's just, you are rejecting aspects of yourself, so it is being mirrored to you. But sometimes it's just, they're in your life because they're just there to get you to actually step into your truth and to stand your ground. And even a lot of these, self-help people talk about this, like Deepak Chopra and Wayne Dyer. They're just like, say no to negativity. You don't have to put up with that.
That's right.
I mean, you can definitely do your best to, I think, send these people love and, forgive them. But if there's someone in your life who is really negative, and it doesn't matter what you do, even if you talk to them in a very kind way and if you, because we've experienced this, if you're just, because that's the thing that I've noticed with, I don't like to label people, but just people who are very, let's say, set in their ways, say they're very religious, for example, and you, being very open-minded and spiritual, will talk about your beliefs, about the things that you're into, and the thing about you is that you don't push it on other people, you just say, oh, this is what's worked for me.
Yeah.
If
it's
they're
an
really,
excitement.
It is excitement. It's really, it's
what
who you
happened
are.
to me.
Look, I try this amazing energy healing.
Yeah.
A lot of your extended family are not on that wavelength, so they don't understand it and they do not respect you.
No.
They will basically just tell you to shut up. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
And it's like, but she's just being herself. Yet when they want to talk about their religious stuff they're into or whatever it is, my mom's very polite about it. So I'm sure a lot of people watching this can relate to that. And if that's the case, really, you know what, I don't really believe it's in your best interest to be in a relationship with that person.
No.
Sometimes you just have to walk away and move into just alignment with what's in your best interest, with your highest good. In every regard, meaning, pursue your career path, listen to your heart, and only interact with the people who really do support who you are,
Yes. It's a freedom walking away. It was last fall I finally cut the last extended family member out of my life, and it was such a freedom. And at first I felt guilty. I thought, oh, I'm hurting this person. Should I, shouldn't I, should I? And it was causing a lot of anxiety in me. But then I thought, well, this person, it's a disservice to them if I stay in a relationship where I have to pretend. And they're pretending. And there's these undercurrents. And how is that being authentic if I'm pretending? I even told this person we're pretending. I'm pretending.
Yeah.
Didn't want to hear it. It got to the point where it just disintegrated into so much negativity. That was saying, okay, I've got to go. It doesn't matter. I've got to be true to myself. And it was even fun. I even had a channeling session with a woman recently, and she's very good at what she does. And
who's this?
Jackie.
Oh yeah, Jackie.
Jackie again. She's amazing. And all of my guides were around, and the angels were around, and my guides were saying, it's about time. What took you so long? Because I was so worried about being the nice person. What will people think? They will accuse me of being unforgiving, which they did. You know?
Or some people might accuse you of running away from your problems. No, it's just, it's cutting the cords of abuse.
Yes.
It's just standing up for who you are and saying, you know what, I respect and love myself enough not to deal with this.
Yeah.
I don't need to take, if somebody is physically abusing you and they're your family member, like physically, are you going to say, oh, well, it's okay, and oh, I'm supposed to learn something here? No, you bloody well walk away, okay?
That's right.
It's the same thing.
Yes. And unfortunately, verbal abuse, disrespect, criticism, that to me is so damaging. It's the same or just even worse than if someone took you and smacked you across the face. Because, you can internalize it. And why would you want that in your life? And there are probably a lot of you out there who are dealing with people thinking, well, it's a family member, it's a sister, it's a brother, it's my mother, it's my family I just married into, why, And if this person is showing a pattern, that's time for you to say, okay, enough is enough. You can talk to them once or twice or 3 times, but after that, it's time to go. My problem was I put up with it for years and years and years. It made me miserable and it made me physically ill because I internalized it. And hopefully now that these people are gone, I can start being my authentic self and not having to worry about, ooh, what are they going to think? Are they going to mock me if I'm just talking about angels, if I'm talking about aliens, if I'm talking about alternative medicine? These are my passions. And if someone says to you, I don't want to hear that. Oh, that's stupid, or I don't believe in that. And say, you're being rude, because they were being so disrespectful. And I'm just like, want to kick myself for saying, Why were you such a chump for so long?
Well, that's what you had to go through.
That's
though.
right. It was a hard lesson, and I'm not a chump anymore.
You didn't learn that lesson.
You know.
Yeah. What do you say to people who think, oh well, you're attracting those people because, well, there's something about them that you're not accepting within yourself. They have a trait that you're not accepting, and you need to work it out. What do you say to those people who say that?
I think a lot of times it's not so black and white. This is what the New Agers, they always say, well, what's it reflecting in you? It might be just a lesson that you need to learn to stand up for yourself, that you need to say, I'm not going to take on their crap.
For you, how I see it, because the way you were brought up in a fairly, I would say, verbally, emotionally, and even physically abusive home, it's like subconsciously you were attracting that. There were patterns for a while. For whatever reason, I think your soul wanted to choose this theme, but to overcome it, to just, after a point, say, no, that's enough.
Yeah.
I don't deserve this. I'm, an amazing individual who deserves to be treated with respect, and sometimes you just got to say no.
Yeah, yeah. And it was also about me being a healer. I channeled the archangels, the energy of them. The energy is pure, it's light. These people were weighing me down. It's a very common phenomenon for a lot of light workers to come from a lot of dysfunction and abuse, especially growing up. They're actually very evolved. They're from the angelic realm. They're from advanced solar systems. They volunteered here on purpose to experience these really negative childhoods or marriages or whatever, something very negative. And it's not, of course they're learning through this, but what better way, and a lot of them are healers, and what better way to be a better healer if you can learn to be empathetic, really empathetic, and to know what it feels like to come from this suffering and this pain. And so it's not always black and white saying, oh, well, this is reflecting this in you and I should just take it and I should learn to forgive and I should whatever. Of course you want to forgive. You don't want to give your power away. You want to replace all the pain with peace. But that doesn't mean you have to go and have a cup of tea with them and spend your holidays with them. If you get that feeling inside you that, oof, I don't want to be around that anymore. Because you learned your experiences, you learned already the empathy. You don't have to go back and keep going back and taking that low vibrational energy.
Absolutely. It's like you got to get to a point where you're like, all right, I've had enough. Now it's time to do my healing work and help those people who have gone through what I went through so you can help other people.
And it's not always karmic. Sometimes it's just, I want this challenge. I want to learn to be really empathic. I want to know what it feels like to suffer. And I know that was one of my life purposes. I came here to suffer in the beginning, but not anymore. I'm moving away from the suffering and I'm moving into my own power. And part of my own power is to do what I came here to do and to feel a total acceptance and love for myself regardless of what I look like, regardless of my IQ, regardless of how much money I make. I'm here to fall back in love with myself, who I actually am, and that is a process which is moving along just swell. That's right. It doesn't happen overnight, but it's a decision that I've made for myself. And how can I feel good about myself if I keep going back to all of these really dysfunctional people who want to criticize and put me down and label me and put me in this constricted little box and say, I don't want to hear what you have to say. That's stupid. Why would I do that?
Well, I don't believe in that.
Why would I do that?
I'm not exaggerating.
It's insane.
I don't want to hear it. And she's talking about like her little energy work and, oh, I had this amazing energy.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that.
You know.
Okay. All right.
Let's just talk
have a nice
about
life.
stupid things like, okay, what do you want to talk about? Like, I can't even relate to stupid talk. I mean, maybe for this long,
I mean, that's okay if that's what you want to talk about. But for you, for example, that's not what you want to talk about. That doesn't really...
No. Spirituality is my passion. It's my life. It's when I go to sleep at night. That's what I'm thinking about. When I wake up, I want to learn things every day. And even as I'm going to sleep, I'll lie on the bed and I'll have all the archangels around me and I'll be channeling their energy and I'm swooshing it around and feeling it, and it's such a pleasant feeling. For me to be who I am, I need to surround myself with these like-minded people. You know what's interesting?
Absolutely.
As soon as I started accepting myself and loving myself, and I cut these really negative people out of my life, guess who showed up? All these wonderful, like-minded people, all these people who are supportive and kind and say wonderful things to me, and I have so many people that I know now like that, and who needs family when you have that?
They are your new family.
They are my new family, and
that's what happened to me too, Mom.
That's right.
Exactly. The exact same thing. When I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to accept myself for me because I'm beautiful, I'm wonderful. So the majority of the planet don't understand me. That's okay. There's got to be people out there, and I have that mentality like I'm just going to be true to myself, because back then, when I wasn't, I would manifest back pain all the time.
Yeah.
Now, the reason for my neck pain is because I went boogie boarding in Maui, and anyway, hit a wave, whiplash. But it's so true. Like when I stood my ground, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to accept myself for me. And it's a process. It's not like all of a sudden, ooh, I just accept myself 100% unconditionally. It is a process.
Yeah.
But when I made that shift, and what just automatically happened is that I just attracted all of these like-minded people, loving people into my life.
Yeah.
Just automatically, I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
so you do exist.
Yeah.
But it came through me accepting myself and stop with the rejection of different parts of me, because I was not fully who I was. I did not express myself fully spiritually, even though I was a spiritual person. For some reason, like, why is it that I'm attracting all these guys that, okay, yeah, sure, they're good looking, they're intelligent, but they're not very spiritual. It's because I wasn't fully expressing my spirituality. There was a part of me that felt that I was weird and people wouldn't relate. So I wouldn't fully express it. I wouldn't fully be it, and then I didn't even attract them. But once I accepted it, then I attracted them. So,
yeah. All this rejection is not your truth. It's not who you are. It's their dysfunctionality. And if you want to buy into that, well, then you're going to cause problems for yourself. Your whole goal in life is to be happy, to be joyful, to do what you came here to do.
Get on your joy path.
And if you do not do that, you are lying to yourself. You are being disloyal to you. So being authentic is really about being loyal to yourself. It's not selfish, it's self-full. Yes. So I am becoming more self-full, and I can just feel myself shifting and shifting and shifting, and I'm so grateful for that. So I just recommend anybody who is just wondering, oh, should I leave this relationship? I say to you, if it's more negative than positive, if they are disrespectful to you on a regular basis, that's your sign. You know, if they're not wanting you or allowing you to talk about
to be yourself,
whoever you want to talk about. If you want to talk about alternative medicine, if you want to talk about
aliens, angels,
weird conspiracy theories, it doesn't matter. You have a right, just as they have a right to talk about the color of their toilet paper.
Yeah,
or their
hockey,
color,
or like
their stupid meal
Justin
they had last night,
Bieber, or like whatever normal,
or Charlie Sheen. Who cares? That's what they want to talk about. I mean,
Yeah, I think obviously in relationships it does take a lot of work and a lot of patience. Are you thinking about my Charlie Sheen dance?
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Did you see that video?
Yes.
Raise your frequency with Gooby dancing?
Yeah. And you see, when I was doing that dance, because I still have aches and veins, I was really stiff, so that was really pushing it for me. So I looked extra nerdy because I'm like, okay, I'm going to pretend I'm dancing, but ow.
Oh, you look good. I think so.
But we'll have to do another
You're
one.
You're being your authentic self and being goofy and fun, and that's so important. And
it was fun. Like I said, I don't remember laughing that hard, and
it's so therapeutic.
We were laughing so hard I sound like a squealing pig. Just like that, like really high, but it was fun.
It is a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Not taking yourself so seriously is really important.
That was therapeutic for me, because I put aside, well, who cares what anyone thinks, you know? Who cares if I'm acting really, really silly, you know? It allows other people to say, well, I'm going to act silly. I'm just going to be, and I'm just going to have fun, and I'm not going to care what anyone thinks.
Yeah, it really inspires other people.
Yes.
When you are yourself,
yeah,
you're helping so many other people because you're inspiring them to be who they really are, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Getting back to what we were talking about with relationships, I was going to say that relationships absolutely take a lot of work, a lot of understanding. You can't just expect this person to be a replicate of you, and if you don't understand something that they do, well, you don't just want to say, oh, it's over. But because some people in relationships, they think, oh, especially with soulmate type relationships, twin flame relationships, oh, this person, after a while, they're like, yeah, they have a lot of flaws, and I just don't want to deal with it. It's like, hello. They actually, in those kind of relationships, they mirror back to you what you need to work on. So I think what we're really getting to is that if you're in a relationship that is actually abusive, where you are just being yourself, sharing your passions with them, and they do not accept it, and they tell you, well, to stop talking, I don't want to hear it, they mock you, well, those are the kinds of relationships that you really need to question, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But if you're in a relationship and they say something to you that maybe, from a objective third person point of view, it's like not offensive, they're just saying something that's triggering a wound, then, you want to work through it.
Yeah. If you're going to have differences of opinions, the differences need to be done respectfully.
Yeah, respect is always required. Absolutely.
That's right. You could have different visions of life, black and white. It doesn't matter. It has to be respectful.
Absolutely.
And that's the bottom line.
That is the most important thing.
There's so many different philosophies and ideas and beliefs, and it just comes down to respect. And then when you respect yourself, other people will respect you.
Yeah.
That's right. And then the new people that you will be attracting into your life will be respectful towards you because you are respecting yourself. And yeah, very important message. Thank you for tuning in today, and I hope something we said is going to help you take your power back and be loyal to you.